Question number one for today's episode. I've recently started a new job. How do I know if I'm getting paid correctly? And how does my employer know how much tax to deduct from me? The first thing you need to work out is to get a recent pay slip. If you've just started, you might only get paid fortnightly or monthly, depending on what your employer's arrangement is. So get a recent pay slip or ask your payroll for a pay slip, and it'll say your annual salary. So I'm sure you would have negotiated that before you took the job. So it'll have your annual salary, but then it'll have a breakdown. So let's assume you work weekly, or you're going to be working weekly. It'll have your hours worked for that week. So whether that's 38 or depending on how many hours you work. And then it should give you a breakdown of your hourly rate. Even though you're getting paid an annual salary, they'll work out what your hourly rate is. What you want to look at is your hours worked for the week or for the fortnight, and then times that by your hourly rate, and that will give you a gross amount. What you want to check is if you're working weekly, times that weekly amount by 52 or 48, depending on how many holidays you get. And that should give you a gross amount, and give or take a few numbers, that should give you close to your annual salary, depending on if you've got any salary sacrifice arrangements or different holiday structures. So the next thing you asked was around tax and how they work out how much tax to deduct each week. What they'll do is they'll either have an accounting software system, and they'll just enter in your weekly gross earnings, and that will just give them a breakdown in terms of how much tax to deduct or withhold and send to the tax office on your behalf, and then how much money to pay you, so your net earnings. So what will affect this is if you have X, and also any holiday pay or salary sacrifice or a car or entitlements or extra travel allowances, that might change that slightly. But again, talk to your payroll department. They'll be able to explain all this to you. Jump onto Money Smart and search for an income tax calculator. It should be under there, calculator and tools, and enter in your weekly earnings or your fortnightly earnings, and that should give you your breakdown of tax and Medicare and different levies that you have to pay. That should give you your net earnings. So just compare what you're getting at the moment, compare it to that, and if there's any discrepancies or any major differences, take it to your payroll.